going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sweezy NBA channel. Today we're going deep on one of my favorite topics in the NBA, underrated players. These are the guys who might not be household names just yet, but they're crucial to their team's success and could be stars in their own right one day. I've picked 10 players who I think aren't getting the respect they deserve, and I'll break down exactly what makes them so special. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's get started. Trey Murphy is one of those players who casual fans don't fully appreciate. He's 6'9", super athletic, and most importantly, he's one of the best shooters in the league. His ability to space the floor completely changes how the Pelicans' offense works. What makes Murphy special is his versatility. He can catch and shoot at an elite clip, but he's also more than just a standstill shooter. He cuts off the ball, he runs the floor in transition, and he's improved a lot as a defender. The Pelicans love to switch defensively, and Murphy's length lets him guard anywhere from guards to power forwards. In a league where 3-and-D wings are at a premium, Murphy is exactly that, but with even more upside. If New Orleans ever gives him a bigger role offensively, which we could see this season, we could be looking at a 20-point-per-game scorer who also locks up on defense. My next guy is Toumani Camara. Toumani Camara might not even be on most people's radar, but Portland fans already know what he brings. He's the kind of guy who changes the game without needing the ball in his hands. Defensively, he's relentless. He takes pride in guarding the other team's best wing. He fights over screens, and he makes life miserable for scorers. Offensively, he's not that flashy, but he's smart. He cuts at the right time, finishes at the rim, and moves the ball instead of forcing bad shots. For a Blazers team in rebuild mode, Camara's development is huge. Every young team needs that glue guy, the one who sets the tone with hustle plays and defensive effort. Camara is already filling that role, and if his shooting improves, he could go from a rotation guy to a legitimate starter in the next few years. Coby White is such an interesting case. Drafted as a score-first point guard, he struggled early on with consistency, but now he's finally finding his rhythm and proving that he can be a long-term piece for Chicago. He's shooting better than ever. His handle is tighter, and he's making smarter decisions as a playmaker. But what I think is most impressive is his defense. White used to be seen as a liability on that end, but he's really stepped up, fighting through screens, contesting shots, and holding his own against quicker guards. The Bulls are stuck in that awkward middle ground as a franchise, but White's growth is a bright spot. He may not be a superstar, but he's the kind of reliable guard every playoff team wants. And if Chicago eventually rebuilds, White could easily be a breakout guy on another roster with more freedom. Jalen Johnson is finally getting his chance, and he's making the most of it. For years, Atlanta has needed another reliable forward to complement Trae Young, and Johnson looks like he could be that guy. He's a freak athlete in transition, he finishes above the rim with authority, and defensively, his length makes him a weapon. But what's really underrated about Johnson is his feel for the game. He makes quick passes, he doesn't force shots, and he knows how to play within the flow of the offense. For a Hawks team that's been inconsistent, Johnson's steady improvement is huge. If he keeps developing his jumper and becomes more of a consistent scorer in the half court, he could easily be one of the best two-way wings in the Eastern Conference. Bennedict Mathurin is a straight-up bucket. He's got that attacking mindset where every time he touches the ball, he's looking to score. That aggressiveness sometimes makes him streaky, but it's also what makes him dangerous. Playing next to Halliburton, Mathurin has the perfect setup, a playmaker who sets him up for open looks while also letting him create for himself. His ability to get to the rim and finish through contact is already impressive, and he's only getting better. The part of his game that's underrated is his mentality. He's not afraid of the moment. He'll take the big shots, and he'll take on the best defensive matchup if you ask him to. Once he cleans up his shot selection and consistency on defense, Mathurin could easily be an all-star down the line. Everyone is watching Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio, but people need to start paying attention to Devin Vassell. He's exactly the kind of wing every team dreams of. He can shoot, defend, and now he's adding more shot creation to his game. What makes Vassell underrated is that he's developing in the Spurs' shadow. Wemby naturally gets all the attention, but Vassell has been steadily improving year after year. His three-point shot is reliable. He moves well without the ball, and defensively, he's one of the best on-ball defenders in his age group. With Wemby drawing double teams, Vassell is going to get a ton of open looks. If he continues on this trajectory, he could easily be one of the most valuable second options in the league in just a couple years. Onyeka Okongwu is one of those players who would already be a household name if he weren't stuck behind Clint Capella. He's got everything you want in a modern big: strength, rebounding, rim protection, and the quickness to guard on the perimeter. He doesn't put up eye-popping stats because of limited minutes, but when he's on the floor, you notice the difference. He's switchable on defense, he's active on the glass, and offensively, he's developing a nice touch around the basket. Okongwu is ready to step up as the Hawks' starting center, and people are sleeping on how good he really is. The Pistons pick up more momentum in the East. Jaden Ivey is a bright spot. He's lightning fast, explosive, and constantly putting pressure on the rim. Watching him attack in transition is like watching a young Westbrook. Pure speed and power. What makes Ivey underrated is that his development has been overshadowed by the Pistons' overall struggles. He's still learning how to control the game, especially with decision-making and shooting. But the tools are there. His first step is elite, and once he gets comfortable mixing in the jumper consistently, he's going to be really tough to guard. Detroit is loaded with young guards, but Ivey's upside might be the highest of them all. If he can refine his game, he has real all-star potential. Keegan Murray is one of the steadiest young players in the league. He's already proven he can shoot the three at a high clip, and he's becoming more comfortable creating off the dribble. On a Kings team that plays fast and relies heavily on LaVine, DeRozan, and Sabonis, Murray's role is perfect. He spaces the floor, plays defense, and doesn't make mistakes. He rarely forces bad shots, and his basketball IQ is already beyond his years. The underrated part of his game is his defense. He's strong enough to handle bigger forwards and quick enough to keep up with wings. With Sacramento building a winning culture, Murray could end up being that piece that elevates them from being a playoff team to a legitimate contender. And finally, we have Jalen Duren. Still just 21 years old, he already looks like one of the strongest rebounders in the entire league. His physicality jumps off the screen. He sets hard screens, crashes the glass, and finishes strong around the rim. Duren's defensive presence is what really makes him underrated. He's not just a shot blocker. He moves his feet well, rotates quickly, and has the instincts of a veteran big. Add in his developing offensive game, and you've got a center who could be a cornerstone for Detroit. People don't talk about him yet because the Pistons aren't winning a ton of games. But once they do, Duren's name is going to come up in every conversation about top young centers in the entire league. So there it is, 10 of the most underrated players in the NBA today. From Trey Murphy's shooting to Jalen Duren's dominance in the paint. These guys might not be all-stars yet, but they're already shaping the future of the league. Now it's your turn. Who do you think is the most underrated player in the NBA right now? Did I miss someone from your team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one for some more NBA content.